Just doing a little meditation. It's a good idea with the Pisces New Moon. I strongly recommend a little bit of meditation and maybe a drop of medication as well. The Pisces New Moon every year is the 4 o'clock in the morning of the year. It's the time before the dawn. It's the time before the astrological new year gets started when the sun moves into Aries and we have the Aries New Moon. So it's a time of assessing where we are. It's a time of deciding what needs to stay and what needs to go. That's true every year, but it's especially true this year. So we get to this still point, and if you ever woke up at 4 o'clock in the morning and sort of thought about your life and so on, you may find that there are times when you say, geesh, things need to be realigned a little bit. And that's what we're doing in Pisces generally, and especially at the Pisces New Moon. Now, this is a very active Pisces New Moon because the planet Mercury has just stationed to go direct, and the planets Mars and Saturn are stationing to go retrograde. Now, an astute astrologer might say, well, actually, the stationary energy is sort of like that still point. It's all sort of the same thing. However, when we have planets that are stationary, their energy becomes very intense in a very internal kind of way. And what we recognize with Mars and Saturn, and what we recognize because we're getting close to April's Grand Cross in cardinal signs, that's another video. What we recognize is that things are really changing a great deal, and this is not a time to be able to sit, when we're really able to sort of sit still. And so we're at this point of saying, well, what needs to stay and what needs to go? And that's the big question for us at this time. And really, no matter how you slice it, you can back away from your life for a little bit and sort of go on a little daily retreat or whatever it is, or you can just keep going full blast. It doesn't really make too much of a difference as long as you can build in a little space to have some awareness of what's going on. And I feel that that's the most important thing we can do, is to just have some awareness of what's going on. We need to lighten the load. That is definitely the case. Now, when we get to the big cardinal energy in April, we're going to be, within a real storm of astrological activity. For some of us, that's going to be a great opportunity to move forward. For others, it's going to be just a big storm, and we're going to have to sort of, be protected and find a way to get out. So it could be a matter of sort of survival, or it could be a matter of really moving forward and kind of thriving. But the thing is that either way, you need to lighten the load. If you're trying to run and win a marathon or a sprinting race or something like that, well, you need to lighten the load. If you're carrying something really heavy, you're not going to be able to run as fast, and you're not going to be able to move as freely as you'd like to. You want to travel lightly. On the other hand, if things aren't going so well, it's like when they tell you, when the alarm goes off, get out of the building, don't stop to get your possessions. And that's true too. So no matter how you slice it, it's time to lighten the load and get moving. So this weekend, I think, here at the Pisces New Moon itself on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, it would be fine to stop and sort of think about things, back away a little bit if you can. But you don't necessarily have to. And in the coming week, I think that you would probably do well to remain fairly active, but decide what isn't working and what needs to go. And what, it doesn't have to be like this is a disaster, but, I don't really need this anymore. That could be a job, it could be a relationship, it could be part of your own attitude, it could be your own, your own anger, your own reactiveness, your own whatever it is, your own insecurities. You can sort of toss those things, you can toss those things overboard right now. And it's a good idea to toss them overboard. It's a good idea to decide. By the time of the Virgo new moon, the Virgo full moon, which will be on March 16th, then we'll really be asked to take some action that pushes things away from us. That's the time when we're really going to need to cut loose. Because right after that, the sun goes into Aries, and then 2 weeks after that, we have the Aries new moon, and after that, it's lights out because we're having the cardinal Grand Cross, and the sun's going to be setting it off as soon as we get into April. So this is the time to decide what needs to be let go of. By the middle of the month, it's time to actually take steps to let go of those things, and it doesn't have to be with anger. It doesn't have to be with, no, the hell with this. It could just be like, look, this is it. And that's what we're being pulled to right now. Of course, it usually is a little bit difficult to let go of stuff, and that's where we're really challenged most of the time. On the other hand, if you've got big heavy shoes on and you're going to go swimming, you got a whole other problem, and you don't want that to be your case.